Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on what is the economic aftermath of the Great Resignation. So what is predicting to transpire post the Great Resignation elapsing? Well, the unemployment rate will further amplify. It is slated to hover around anywhere from at least 97 to 98% post the Great Resignation elapsing. There will be a dearth of people who are willing to work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand. Real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand often induce chronic burnout, chronic fatigue, chronic stress, and often increase your mortality rate. Furthermore, they adversely impinge on every facet of your life. They encroach on every facet of your life. Unfortunately, much to my dismay, most real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand are often deemed highly time-consuming, dead-end, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched jobs that do not pay anything close to even 1/4 of a subsistence wage. It's quite a shame, but quite a pity, but it is what it is. Now, based on the CEO's pay grade, they deem 2 hours of the assistant manager's sacrosanct, indispensable, finite, precious, and valuable time to be commensurate to 1 second of the CEO's time. If an assistant manager were to work at a company for 50 years for 2,080 hours per year, after 5 decades or half a century or 50 years elapsed, he would still gross less revenue than the CEO grosses in under 15 hours. That's a disparity in wealth. They deem the CEO's time to be at least 743,000% more valuable than the assistant manager's time, even though the assistant manager is on the front lines and profusely working hard in a valiant, earnest attempt to keep the company afloat. So these pay disparities in terms of the hourly race between the CEO and the employers will more than likely further amplify in the pending future. The wage disparity isn't apt to contract. If anything, it's apt to become all the more extensive. So, what will employers do to remedy this issue of only 2 to 3% of the population being employed as a result of working real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand? There are an exorbitant amount of people who work boondoggles jobs that would never exist in a free market economy. I can't deem those individuals to be employed because their salaries, their benefits, their amenities, their vacations are subsidized by people who work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand. And the people who work boondoggles jobs would never have a job if we had a free market economy in which all jobs existed based on voluntary demand. So, in the pending future, more of the population, at least 97% of the population, will become welfare aristocrats. Now, welfare aristocrats, they have the utmost highest standard of living. They have unlimited money in tandem with unlimited benefits. They never have to work a day in their lives for anything. In spite of being reticent about working in any capacity, in spite of their reluctance to work in any capacity, they're able to attain the utmost highest standard of living, because people who work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand will always be subsidizing their amenities in tandem with their unlimited money and their unlimited benefits. So, more people will become welfare aristocrats post the Great Resignation elapsing. Pay disparities between CEOs and employees will further increase. They will not contract. Furthermore, more robots, artificial intelligences, automated processes, algorithms, and other robust technologies will be ushered into the workforce. Companies will be able to sustain themselves and maintain profitability in spite of having an infinitesimal workforce. They may have skeleton crews, but they will still remain profitable nonetheless, and they will find ways in which their employees can not only take on multiple roles at the same pay rate, but will also find ways to outsource tasks to robots, artificial intelligences, algorithms, and automated processes. So they will further minimize their reliance on human laborers. The overarching goal is to maximize the wealth of their shareholders and maximize their profits at all cost, and it's not conducive to maximizing the well-being of their employees, because they will remain steadfast on never paying their employees anything close to livable wage in the digital era. A livable wage is at least a net wage of $122 per hour. That's how much you would need to gross if you wanted to retire after 20 years elapsed and have $3,600,000 invested in the equities market in stocks that bear 2% dividend yields, so that when you retired, you would receive at least $6,000 in dividend payouts. Post-investing $3,600,000 in the equities market, so that you could earn at least $72,000 in dividend payouts annually. So the economic aftermath of the Great Resignation is going to result in more welfare aristocrats emerging, the employment rate amplifying, pay disparities between employees and CEOs further amplifying, and the economy being a little more dependent on robots, algorithms, artificial intelligences, and automated processes to be the workforces of companies. Companies will further minimize their dependence on human laborers post the Great Resignation elapsing. I hope that you found this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.